Alright, welcome back to Crypto Front. This is the front line where we are fighting for financial freedom. So let's go ahead and take another look at the JASMY price chart here. And I'm seeing the most negative sentiment that I've ever seen with JASMY holders. And the question now becomes, why is there so much negative sentiment? Now, when you take a look at this price chart, you see that this is a very fantastic support, right? Potential support, massive. And it reminds me of how things were back then in 2023, October. I mean, think about it. How many people were happy to purchase JASMY here? Probably zero, right? We were talking about JASMY at that point, but unfortunately we only had like 200 followers or something like that. The message really didn't get across. But also think about it, back then in November 2022, who wanted to buy JASMY here? Nobody. The message here is that at pivotal points like this, and where we are sitting right now with JASMY, nobody wants to be buying. People are still expecting the price to break through this support level here and fall all the way down because they are seeing a head and shoulders pattern right there. I acknowledge that, but the fact of the matter is it hasn't happened just yet. Rather, I'm looking at a support level here and I'm thinking, well, what if I buy JASMY here on this major support? At some point, it's going to be very possible JASMY takes out the high that we were having back then in June 2024, where it's around 4.5 cents, right? I'll explain my reasons why I think that's the case. Let me just reiterate this one more time. Yeah, this is looking like a standard head and shoulders pattern. The fact of the matter is it hasn't broken down just yet. Now, my positive outlook here is that JASMY is still very much bullish. I'm looking at this structure here on the left side, comparing to what Bitcoin was doing back then in 2015. I've gone on to show you this structure many more times. And let me just say that to conclude, I still expect JASMY to push like this, just as we were seeing BTC doing back then in 2015. And I still expect JASMY at least to take out 4.5 cents here, as according to this structure, right? So yeah, it hasn't been a great time, obviously, because I mean, there's been flash crashes toward the downside. We even lost some trades, but do you really close shop because you've lost one trade or you've made loss on one trade? Definitely not, right? Now, because I want to be putting my money where my mouth is, I've of course gone on to open a long position. I was talking to Patreon members about this yesterday, and it's up 15% today. Really nothing, honestly, according to what we want to get to. This is just an emphasis on how bullish I am on JASMY. So yeah, of course, in as much as people are bearish on JASMY here, we can also see some very positive and optimistic structures coming from JASMY. As an example, I always show you this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Elliott wave count, basically indicating that there's still more juice here for JASMY to push towards the upside. Or sometimes I go ahead and show you this cup and handle formation, of which the price target, the technical price target that we'll be looking to get to is the depth of this cup here, which will be right around 70 cents here for JASMY. This is the price target that is slightly above my main price target here for JASMY in this bull cycle, which I'll show you in a second. But this is another bullish structure on JASMY. As you can see here on the left side, JASMY. On the right side, we've got the Velo price chart. We have done a lot of comparisons between these two charts here, and I expect JASMY to reach right around 54 cents relative to this chart, right? Because we're using Fibonacci retracement levels. And if you reference this top right around 30 cents to the bottom that we had back then in November 2022, your golden ratio 1.618 Fibonacci extension level is right around 54 cents. That was the same thing that we were doing with Velo, and Velo was easily able to reach that price target. So yeah, I'm still very much bullish on JASMY. Even if we take a look at the JASMY price chart against the Bitcoin chart, we are now realizing that JASMY is at a very important Fibonacci retracement level, and usually we expect bounces off of this level. So it may actually be suggesting that, you know what, instead of getting into Bitcoin, probably JASMY is a better bet than Bitcoin. I mean, on a bigger scale, we know that BTC will crash everything, but immediate short term, it really feels like if we hold this Fibonacci retracement level, very important one, JASMY could be outperforming Bitcoin in the coming few months or something like that. That's the good news that you want to be hearing, right? Now, again, if we compare JASMY with other market participants, I'm talking about the combined market cap of the rest of the market, excluding the top 10 coins, we are seeing this amazing structure on JASMY. I'm saying amazing structure because we have seen this structure time and again, right, everywhere actually. And usually this structure ends up like this. I'll show you that in a minute. This is a very good example of that chart that we see time and again, right? Even on the shorter time frames, everywhere we see this chart. This is Cardano, for example, between 2018 and 2021 when it had a fantastic bull run. But you have to understand that this didn't come easy, right? It was a very big struggle. Take a look at all these things. Isn't it the same thing that we're experiencing with JASMY right now versus other cryptocurrencies? Basically the same thing. So again, on a likelihood of things, JASMY will break out, even outperforming number one Bitcoin and most of the other things. As you are seeing here, I'm comparing with the total three, right? I have a little bit of a different approach here. What you are seeing again, it's JASMY price, but this time around it's off of the log scale, it's on a linear scale, and I'm comparing it to what Cardano was doing again back then in 2021. We see almost the same chart, right, that I've been saying. This really is a prominent chart. We see time and again. Now, if I remove the names here, which say JASMY, USDT, 3D, and this one we say Cardano, whatever, you actually will not be able to recognize which chart is which chart. Now, I'm using this chart again, number one, to predict the price, and secondly, to try and see how long did it take for Cardano to go ahead and reach its all-time high, or at least to start, making its huge move towards the upside? Because I would look at this chart and say, you know what, compared to what JASMY is doing, we are right around this area here, which is the equivalence of around this area here for, Cardano as well. Now, the interesting thing here is that time-wise, it's looking like JASMY is also very much ready. Take a look at this from the peak to right around where we would say the rally began. You see here we have about 1,100 days. But if you come back here to the JASMY price set and take a look at our relative peak, which is right around 30 cents, there you also see that we are very much close in that timeline. We have spent about 1,092 days. So look, even from a time frame perspective, it's getting closer and closer that we start seeing a bounce here for the JASMY price set. I hope you guys are definitely understanding where I'm coming from. Now, there's even much bigger hope here if we take a look at the Bitcoin price, because Bitcoin is looking very, very much bullish. We are setting higher highs as we continue, but eventually we're going to be breaking out of this range that we have been in, right? So already a good indication of that is this daily moving average and the 50 daily moving average here that are crossing, forming what is known as a golden cross. And again, just to refer to how these things have played in the past, we are seeing here on the 1st of November 2023, this was marking the beginning of this whole bull run that we have been in. So, I mean, it doesn't work 100% of the time, but for the most part, this is indicating like seismic changes in the market, right? We know that we have got a catalyst like the United States presidential election that is coming within 7 days, and really this could change markets forever. So, yeah, I mean, I understand why people are bearish right at this point, because the price is falling 70% is really at potentially the best time to be buying. But human psychology says something different. So we'll see what eventually happens there with the Bitcoin price and the JASMY price. Why am I even bringing up the Bitcoin price right now? Really, is because when BTC starts moving, everything else starts following BTC, right? But in actual fact, they outperform what Bitcoin does, just as I was showing you with the JASMY price at right there. On a different note altogether, let me invite you to this offer that our partners over there at BingX, the exchange, have provided for the community, right? You can go ahead and register with them, and you can claim $5,450 in terms of bonuses and other different things. And on top of the 300 ton tokens, if you also participate in this deposit to win activity, you go ahead and claim 7,100 USDT in terms of trial funds and vouchers and a whole bunch of other cool things, right? So feel free to check them. Actually, this activity is only running for the next 3 days, and after this I don't know if they're going to renew it or what, but I think you should also be taking the opportunity right now, when still like 3 days from now it's no longer going to be there, unfortunately. So that's pretty much in today's video. I want to kindly ask you to help me spread the video just by delicately tapping the like button. It really helps the YouTube algorithm, and people looking for JASMY content will now be able to find this video much more easily. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, and then I'll see you on the next one. Take really, really good care of yourselves. Bye bye.